Hey, what's going on, guys? Rolandas here. So, hopefully everything is working well. For those of you who are new here, I had two head transplants with Dr. Bruno Ferreira in Portugal. Currently, I'm about 2 months after my second transplant. And yeah, in today's live stream, we're just going to be discussing, as always, basically questions and answers, Q&A. And I ask some of you guys to send me some pictures that you've got if you want me to assess your situation, basically. And yeah, I did it literally a couple of hours ago only, so I got I got a couple of emails only, and there's one more case I want to kind of discuss. And yeah, the reason a lot of people been asking me to first of all upload more videos, which I'm doing my best to do it, but I've got other things in life, so it's very difficult. Hence why I decided to actually go live. It's much easier. And I decided to assess one case that I saw on one of the forums. The guy basically asked opinions of others, what is possible for him in terms of medication, transplant, etc. And I was thinking it's going to be a really interesting, educational, moment, basically. Yeah, let me know how you hear me well, if the quality of the video is okay, as well as I'm a total amateur in the live streams. Audio is a bit weird. Okay, let's sort this out first. What it could possibly be with audio? Max, could you elaborate? What do you think it's weird? Coming through loud and clear. Okay. Okay, cool. That's brilliant. Well, anyways, shout out to early birds. 123, Mordi, Max. How I found your name. That's a really interesting name. And of course, Dwayne, Dwayne Simpson, the best follower from Jamaica. Anyways, nice to see you all, guys. I think we can just jump right into it. As always, if you've got any questions, drop them in the chat, in the live chat, and I'll try to answer all of them. Nonetheless, let's jump right into this case I found really interesting on the Hair Restoration Network. So there you go. Am I a candidate? 40 years old, Norwood 5 or Norwood 6. So the person doesn't really know much as well. Let's have a look. I've never had hair transplant before. Tried finasteride 3 years ago, but it was a nightmare. Used minoxidil for 5 years now. I started balding early 20s. I'm now 40 and hair loss seems pretty stable for the last 4 years. Would like as much restoration as possible. I've sent requests. Okay, so let's have a look at the pictures. Let's go by the pictures one by one and straight away get my impression. First of all, I think this picture was taken with a flashlight. I don't know, it looks a bit like too white, if it makes sense. So yeah, but overall the donor is average, really average, maybe even below average, because it is a little bit see-through. There is no huge retrograde alopecia, which is great on the back. And the donor overall is pretty wide. Looks really similar to me, to be honest. Like, I think it's from the back shot, it definitely looks like a Norwood 5, pretty much copy-paste of me, because my case is exactly the same, and you can see that it can potentially go to Norwood 6 with years to come if he can stop all the treatments, basically. But yeah, appears like the hair caliber is very thin, and yeah, lots of gray hair. Okay, this is, yeah, the crown. Yeah, it looks like a Norwood 5, but really bare. I think, yeah, I definitely have more hair in the crown and kind of mid-scalp. Yeah, the whole front is gone. It was exactly the same for me. I had like a little tiny forelock in the very front, but that's basically all I had. But yeah, good for him that he still have some temple peaks. At least from this angle, the way you look, it's not really receded that far back, so that's a great thing. And the top view. Okay, yeah, so Norwood 5 going to 6, and yeah, pretty severe case. if he been on minoxidil and finasteride, I guess medication will not do any, any more improvement. So the only choice is a transplant, obviously. And yeah, the sides. Yeah, like I said, probably average, but probably even below average, because it looks a little bit see-through without anything, without any surgery done. Imagine if you're gonna take out, if let's say if FUE, which is not the best way to do it, but in such cases, even for me as well, but let's say he goes for FUE, after just, if you're gonna take 1000 grafts from the side here, it's gonna be very thin. Even if it's done properly, it's gonna be very, very, very thin. So I don't think he has much reserves in terms of FUE. If you're gonna go for FUT, especially considering his, yeah, there you go, occipital area, it looks much stronger. As you can see, even the hair appears much darker and thicker in this area. So if he would go for FUT, he could yield pretty decent amount with one strip, maybe 3,000-4,000, grafts. I think his hair is very fine like mine, so it's not in his favor, but yeah, the donor is not really. It's dropping here, so if he gonna stop everything, he gonna go definitely to Norwood 6 and with a pretty thin, possibly even Norwood 7. It depends on the crown, how we're gonna. From the back, the crown doesn't look like it's going all the way low here, like it would be on a proper Norwood 7. If you guys ever seen a Norwood 7, it's a very, very thin strip of hair in the very bottom. I mean, in the donor. So yeah, he's going to Norwood 6. Yeah, there is no much recro standard, like a very minor, like a miniaturization around the ears, which is normal pretty much for any single individual. And like I said, yeah, temple peaks are pretty good. Looks really nice. So that's in his advantage. If he would create like a hairline tool here, it gonna structure his face dramatically. Yeah, the donor is not really that great. I think some might argue he's not a candidate at all for the surgery, and it might be true, but if he would go for FE, definitely especially if he would go to some amateurs, his donor would be obliterated, definitely, because it's just not enough density. Have to be very careful extractions. But yeah, FET would be the best way to go. Yeah, oh, that's with the shorter hair. That looks so much better. Temple peaks are really good. Freaking hell. I feel like I'm a bit jealous of, of these temple peaks. And oh, some donor pictures. Okay, we can see, yeah, not much density and definitely thin hair. It's a really nice quality pictures. I wish more people could do it as well. Very thin hair. I'm wondering, maybe there's even a good amount of miniaturization in the donor as well. It's something he would probably need to he will definitely need to assess with a good surgeon. Maybe he has DUPA, diffuse unpatterned alopecia. And what is diffuse unpatterned alopecia? Is basically when you have more than 20% or 25% miniaturization in the donor area. And most of the times it's going to be not a suitable candidate because there is no like a stable donor. So even if you're going to transplant, the transplant going to miniaturize, so there's no really point to do it and create then scars. And God knows if you're gonna, for example, his donor gonna miniaturize even more in the future, there's gonna be nothing left to cover the scars. So yeah, might be not a great idea. Yeah, but it looks similar to mine. Light hair. It kind of looks like it's not a bad density, but the hair is very thin. It might be a lot of miniaturization. He would need to definitely go and check with the the proper trichoscope to see with how bad it is basically. So yeah, what do you think, guys? Let me change the camera. Very interesting case. I think he can pull it off, a transplant, if he would go for FUT, but if I would be him, I would definitely go first to check the donor overall for miniaturization, and if it's confirmed it's not DUPA, it's not like it's less than, for example, 15% of miniaturization, then you could go for FUT. Again, in my opinion, in my and professional opinion. For FUT, get a decent strip and then small FUE just to cherry pick, you know, from the, like, his occipital area is pretty strong compared to sides, so from occipital area he could take more grafts and be very conservative with the hairline and density and everything. So yeah, high skill would require if he would go to someone cheap, and amateur, he would most likely gonna get, you know, destroyed. So that's what I think. What do you think? Let's see. Gain is slightly high, I think. Oh, I see. Let me just decrease. I don't know, maybe like this is better. I guess the microphone's like very close to me, that's why it's spiking a little bit. Where to send your pictures? Send it to my email. It's mr.rolandas.ht @gmail.com. Or you always can see my email address in the About page of my YouTube channel. And actually, let's just go ahead and show it to you guys. There you go. If you go on my YouTube channel, you're gonna see in About section over here. Boom, that's my YouTube channel, right? YouTube channel email, I mean. So you can send the pictures in there, and yeah, we shall see. Jamaica dance. I sent all the images after 4 months hair transplant. How did you see my hair growth? Let's check the comments first, and they're gonna assess your pictures, guys. Looks like my donor, lol. Max, I think if I recall correctly, I saw your case in Hair Restoration Network. It looks better. It looks definitely better. Like the sides are, you know, thicker and everything. And yeah, I don't think you were that bald, were you? This is the best hair transplant class on YouTube ever. Class. Well, I appreciate that. I'm nowhere near being as good as Joe Tillman is, due to his knowledge and everything, but that's, yeah, I'm flattered. He needs someone like Dr. Zarev to do all the math. Yes, I would, yes, definitely. Someone really good that could properly analyze the whole donor, check each, pretty much, you know, like a centimeter square, how many grafts per centimeter square in each donor zone is, the health of the grafts and the hairs overall, and to kind of, you know, reassess. It would take a good amount of time to plan it properly, maybe 2-3 hours. And it's best maybe to even just, you know, just do a proper consultation, I don't know, a few hours or as much as doctor is willing to do it, and, you know, before even committing to a transplant. I think that would be really the good idea moving forward. Yeah, the issue is there is no FUT surgeon for me. I need to find one within Europe or Turkey. Indeed, yes. I think I was chatting with you. It's really difficult to find a good FUT surgeon, and also in, let's say, a lower budget. For example, when I was looking for my surgery, at first I was considering both FUT and FUE, and I was actually leaning towards FUT. But the problem for me was I couldn't find a surgeon who could do a good FUT within my budget range. I know it's funny and everything, and I'm always talking, it's not about the money, but, you know, we have to be realistic. There's you have to be realistic with yourself, how much you can save up and how long it will need you to save up to, you know, like it's, I wouldn't think, I would never gonna be able to save up enough money to go, for example, to Conyer, Dr. Conyer in Chicago. That is like, what is he charging? I think $13 per graft for FUE. It's, if, I don't know how much you would, I definitely would not be able to save up this amount of money to get like 6,000 grafts, you know. So like everyone has to kind of outline their budget, but try to stretch this budget as much as possible. So in my case, I couldn't find a FUT surgeon that would fit into my like stretched budget. I know there's Hattingen. They are doing amazing FUTs, but they're pretty expensive as well. And Dr. Bisanga, he was doing it. I'm not sure if he's still doing it, but I guess he should. But he's also was too expensive for me. My budget was like 2.5 euro per graft, like at the tops. I couldn't, you know, squeeze anymore. And even that, I you know, decided to save up an extra year. So yeah, anyways. Money is important. Yeah, it's tough one. You just have to. Yeah, maybe there's some like a pearls that you like a really good relatively unknown surgeons that they're doing FET. So you just need to really dig deep into it. At the time when I was researching, I couldn't find one. So yeah, I don't think he's a good candidate for a hair transplant at all. Yeah, he's a borderline candidate. It doesn't seem like a good candidate. Well, I can't even go lower than guard 3 on the back and sides. Oh, guard 3 max. When was your transplant? How long it was? I think it was FE, isn't it? I don't. Is it that like? Is it? Do you don't have like density? You mean that the density is low after transplant in the donor, that you need to grow the hair longer? I guess that's what you're trying to say. How to send pictures? Send pictures on my email. I think I already answered that. Email in description of my channel. Hey, I'm 5 months and 1 week post-operation, 3,000 grafts, hairline, temples. One temple is still way behind in terms of growth, and overall density isn't where it should be. Had 50 grafts per centimeter square in the front. How much improvement could I realistically still expect at this point in time? So 5 months, it's really, I will be honest with you, man. At 5 months, you got maximum, the very, very maximum of 2 months of growth after the transplant, possibly even like 1 month. So you literally just started like reaping, fruits of your transplant. So it's very early. It's like I always mention in so many videos that not all the hairs will grow at the same time. And actually, as a matter of fact, I just filmed a video on hair cycles where I kind of briefly explain how hair cycles work in hair transplants, for example. But what I'm trying to say, if you got, for like an example, 3 hair graft, it's not all 3 hair grafts will produce 3 hairs at the same time. Some of them might produce only 1 or 2 hairs, and the 3rd hair, for example, still can be in telogen phase and can start growing a little bit later on. So their anagen phase, like anagen phase, basically every single individual hair has their own hair cycles. Not the grafts that has, like, for example, one graft has 5 hairs. No, if every individual hair has his own hair cycle. So they can start growing up to like month 9. You can expect new growth, but it's not going to be that much. In my experience and opinion, from what I've seen from my personal experience, the biggest improvement you're going to see between month 4 and month like 7. That's when majority of bulk growth is gonna happen. And after that, it's gonna be like a minor, like I said, from this double, triple squats, like a 1-2 hair, new hairs, sprouting, but it's not gonna be that major. I did like, I think already 2 or 3 videos on this subject on my channel, and one of the better ones, let me pull it off, pull it out. My English is the best. There you go. Hold on. So this video on hair transplant growth timeline, where I literally basically analyzed my hair transplant month by month, and I highly advise to have a look at this video, because I'm showing how is it on month 4, month 5, and then I'm like comparing to this famous hair growth, like a table timeline of the transplants. Where was it? There you go. Where it's like shows of at month 3, for example, got 10% of final result. And basically my opinion on that is definitely great video to give you some perspective. And also I did another video, and that was the most recent, like more recent one, 12 month, where it was from 0 to 12. What is it now? Crazy, I did so many videos I don't even know what it is. That's a 10 month. Is that the one? Not. Oh, there you go. That's the one. So in this video, it's short 4-minute video, and I showed properly the whole timeline from again from month 0 to month 12. month by month. So definitely go ahead, check out this video. Should be very useful. And you're gonna know, basically, you're gonna have a good idea where you are and what you can expect. Moving on. So I hope that answers your question, by the way. Check I'm month 6 after my transplant. I sent you email and the result is good. I sent a second email. Well, good for you. I'm gonna check the emails in a moment. By the way, guys, if you're new here, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel as well. That's gonna help me a lot. And yeah, hey, if you appreciate all the work I do, you know, you're welcome to buy me a coffee. Buy me a coffee or a beer, whatever it is. There's links in description. Feel free to do it. I send all for images. Okay. Hey, I have sent you a detailed email. Okay, so I guess there's plenty of emails already. Rolands, can you tell me how many grafts you reckon I need from the old picture sent you starting with Lurk? Oh man, I need to dig deep. I'll try to have a look and reply maybe to your email. It comes from me. Keep up the good work. Really enjoy your videos. Appreciate it. Hey, I saw the video multiple times actually. I feel like I'm a bit behind though, regardless. But then again, it varies from person to person. That's exactly right. Yeah, like my case is just an example. Like every single individual is very, very different. So don't compare me to your case. Compare yourself to yourself. Compare yourself how you've been like a month ago, and you're gonna see there's improvement. This is just like a overall example, basically. Happy to hear what's your honest opinion on my hairline. Send that 2 emails. All right, I guess it's time to go ahead and check the emails. Give me uno momento, por favor. Okay, we got already quite a few. I guess we'll have to go quickly through them. All right. I hope I'm not gonna reveal any email or anything, but there you go. I don't want to. One guy sent me this, just pictures, nothing else. So let's have a look. Okay, crown. Slight miniaturization, nothing really that bad or serious, in my opinion. Shaved head. Also, that's different pic. Okay. So yeah, the hairline is receding. Obviously, it's like a Norwood, between Norwood 2 and 3, but it might look like there is this overall like a lighter shadow here, but again, it might be just light condition. It's really difficult to tell. That's much better quality. Okay, so far it's great. Like obviously Norwood what, 2 between 2 and 3. My first question would be, are you on a finasteride, and if yes, for how long? And if you're on minoxidil as well. Like I would, if someone like that definitely looks like a male pattern. Baldness, definitely go ahead and start finasteride. That would be my suggestion number 1. Like I think everyone would suggest the same. That's the most important thing that you can do to stop further progression, because most people they're waiting until they're gonna lose enough to justify the use of a drug on a daily basis for the rest of their life, which is a very bad way to go about it. Better is to prevent further hair loss, because finasteride, for most users, if you're using finasteride, it's just gonna stop further progression, but it's not gonna regrow much hair. So preventing is key basically to long-term success. And if some of you saw my one of the latest videos on finasteride long-term like efficacy 10-year, you know, when I was looking into 10-year study, the lower Norwood level you are, the better response you will have with finasteride. So in this case, if you start right now, I see no reason why would you need, you know, why would your hair loss, you know, go worse, let's say. Oh, I think I should have start talking a bit, check the whole pictures before start talking. I wonder now, these pictures are there at the same time, because here looks much better than here, for example. Again, light condition, but it looks like there's something here happening. But yeah, crown, it's very normal. I've got a friend of mine that has no hair loss. He's like around 40 years old, and he has a like a mature hairline, and he's always buzzing his hair like down to guard like 2, for example, like 1, 2, maybe 3, so very, very short hair. And he has no male pattern baldness. Perfect hairline, mature hairline. It's not like super straight, but on his crown he has like a, it doesn't look like he's having baldness in there, but like overall density kind of looks a little bit, and overall in the whole top it doesn't look very, very, very thick. So it's absolutely normal to have like a finer kind of spots, weaker spots, especially as you age. The hair becomes, you know, thinner. So maybe that's the case here. But yeah, definitely just jump on finasteride and that's it. I would even suggest not to do minoxidil and just do finasteride for 1 year, better 2 years, and then reassess. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be more than enough to do, you know, to prevent any further hair loss. And then if you got a lot of miniaturized hair that are really thin and wispy and you would like them to become thicker, that's when you could add on top minoxidil, maybe microneedling as well. But minoxidil, especially topical, it's can be a pain in the ass using long term. So don't start if you are not, you know, committed to use it long term, basically. Right. By the way, I mean, with under very super harsh light, it's yeah, my hair is a little bit see-through. But you know what, guys? I want to tell you, I'm really happy with my oral minoxidil progress. It's been a bit more than 1 month, but I definitely see a lot of improvement, a lot of new hair growth and thickening, a lot of thickening already. So I don't know, I'm really looking forward how we're gonna turn out in the next 6 months, but I'm pretty confident it's gonna be a really good result. Of course, who else gonna, you know, talk nice things about their own hair if not yourself? But yeah, I think it looks pretty good in my mid scalp, because if you think about it, I still have 0 growth of transplant. There's still another month of that, and it looks already, instead, if in the darker conditions, it looks pretty good. Anyways, let's move this lamp a little bit further. So, oh, there you go. I think it looks a little bit better. Anyways, so yeah, hope that was helpful. Another guy, he sent some pictures seeking your opinion on hair loss and solutions. Brief description of my condition. I'm 23 years old. Been on finasteride, minoxidil, microneedling for 3 months now, but have not experienced any growth whatsoever. These are my pictures of my scalp. Boom. And let's have a look. So this is his pictures. You know, okay, honestly, at 23 years old, this is very aggressive. I would, first of all, what I would do is I would look at your father, at your mother's side, you know, father, like at your uncles basically, and see where they are. Most likely they have very aggressive hair loss, Norwood 6, possibly Norwood 7, because if at this young age you are basically at Norwood 5 going to Norwood 6, usually from such cases the genetic is really bad, and even on finasteride you can go further, progress to Norwood 6, 7. So if you think about transplant, I would suggest not to do it, at least right now. And in terms of medications, okay, let's hold on, let's have a look at the pictures. Oh, I love this. The same happens to me. When you're looking at the top, it looks really thin, but if you look through the side, you see certain angle and light condition, and looks like a perfect head of hair. No problem whatsoever, right? Another side. And the reason why this side looks thicker than the other side is because the hair growth angle. So if you're gonna be looking, if you're gonna point the camera on my hair with this direction, so the hair is growing like that, you're not gonna be able to see much of a hair because it's gonna be straight pointing to the camera. If you're gonna put like that, you're gonna be you're gonna create more illusion. If you're gonna put like that, less illusion. You know what I mean? So it's exactly the same thing here. It grows to his left side, more of it, so it creates this, like in this angle, it more points towards the camera, so it looks thinner. Anyways, just something I wanted to say, because in my pictures exactly the same. Yeah, and the crown, okay. Well, the donor is pretty good, but yeah, he's definitely going to Norwood 6, because here's the whorl and the crown of Norwood 6 is like somewhere over here. The Norwood 7 would be lower, would be somewhere over here. It doesn't look like it's going to Norwood 7, but it might because it's still pretty young. Yeah, lateral hams, especially on one side. I would definitely first of all. Oh, okay. There is even the retrograde alopecia, so that's a bad sign, because when with a very aggressive hair loss, most of the time there is a pretty aggressive retrograde, which is going from your donor from the bottom of your donor going up and around the ears. How is around the ears? I didn't notice. It doesn't show really in the pictures. Yeah, I guess that's the last picture. Yeah, so definitely, okay, so definitely stay in finasteride. 3 months, it's very, very early. It's nothing. Again, go ahead, check out this video that I did on long-term finasteride efficacy. The lower Norwood you are, the more efficacy you're gonna expect long-term. Nonetheless, finasteride works, and for the first year you can experience like a more hair loss stabilization, but not as much of a regrowth. But on the second year on finasteride, you can expect more regrowth, because your hair follicles were without much of a DHT, you know, so they are like kind of comfortable to start growing, if you know, if it makes sense. And of course, I'll put together all these hair cycles and everything. But yeah, and minoxidil microneedling definitely gonna give a great boost. So there is a lot of hairs in your crown, mid scalp, over here. All of this. Where was the top one? All of this hair in the mid scalp and even the hairline, it definitely gonna thicken up a lot from minoxidil microneedling, plus possibly from finasteride. I think the weakest part for you long term is gonna be crown, because it doesn't have as much hair. But nonetheless, I'm pretty confident if you just don't drop it, just keep using it. It should look pretty good, to the point that nobody gonna see that you've got like any hair loss or major hair loss from the front. The crown, I think it might be thinner, but again, everyone responds differently. Just stay the course, don't change anything, and stay the course for at least 2 years, and then reassess. Please don't do any transplants right now, because yeah, it's too early. It's too early to, you know, in such cases, do, even if you are committed, you know, to medication. You need to first of all need to see what medication can do for you. So yeah, that would be my opinion. But yeah, if you're talking briefly about the donor, it looks pretty thick. It looks like you've got a thick hair, really, you know, thick donor, a lot of grafts per centimeter square. So one sweet strip FUT can yield really like 5,000-6,000 grafts probably. Let's see around the ears again. Yeah, it looks pretty thick. Yeah, it might yield more than 5,000 grafts, one good strip. So yeah, but again, just stay the course for the next couple of years and then reassess. Okay, hope that that was helpful. Oh, I got a bit more than I was expecting emails. Let's check some chats. Can't really judge it. Happy to hear what your honest opinion on my hairline. Send it 2 emails. Okay, started seeing really good results in month 7. Oh, Mordecai, thanks so much for a coffee. 1 coffee coming up. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Appreciate your support. Dwayne, after Sema. Oh, that's great. Yeah, that's great. Yeah. At week 2, it was already good. Also, haircuts make a big difference for your hair transplant to look good in the early stages. Get a nice haircut and you'll look good. Yes, Max, definitely 100% agree with you. And I had a haircut, what, I think 2 weeks ago, was pretty recently, just to kind of shape it a little bit, because my crown native hair was growing a bit longer and was like sticking up like a peach fuzz. It was looking a bit weird. He cut it a little bit here and the sides, obviously. Yeah, looking pretty good, I think. But I'm gonna go for another haircut. Not next Monday, but the Monday after. So in about 1 week, because I'm gonna go on holidays to Bulgaria, and yeah, I don't trust anyone in there. So just gonna trim a little bit more, and we're gonna see how it looks, and hopefully gonna be even better. Check out my financial progress in 12 months. After that, I added Lonitin. Let me see, did you send me email? Transplant, picture, second email, comments. Okay, I need to go one by one. Where we are. I'm Norwood 1.5 but have weak lateral hams compared to some Norwood 5s. It's weird. Weak lateral hams. So you mean, are you like you diffuse thinning here in these areas, but nothing else? Maybe you still have integrity of your like a hairline and everything, but maybe your proper diffuse thinner, it means that you are diffuse thinning all over the top in a Norwood 5 or 6 or even 7 pattern. I think it would be important to kind of assess, because some people don't realize that they are, for example, Norwood 5 or 6 because they have a lot of hair and they have hairline. It looks like they're Norwood 1 or like Norwood 2, there's no hairless. But if you look closely, there is a lot of miniaturization happening already, so which indicates in the future, in upcoming years, it's going to be a lot of hair loss, especially if nothing is going to be done about it. So yeah, I mean, I cannot say much because I didn't see the pictures, but it's worth keeping in mind that. Yes. My transplant went good, looking forward for Vinlevi in Q4. Yes. I mean, hopefully Closcatron gonna be really good. I'm definitely gonna be on board straight away. I mean, depending on the budget, but probably straight away gonna start using a topical anti-androgen on top of finasteride and on top of minoxidil. I think it's just an amazing addition to overall arsenal to battle, you know, hair loss. Even though some people ask me why I'm even taking finasteride, I'm already lost most of my hair. Like, I don't want to lose more. That's the thing. If I'm gonna go to Norwood 6 or God knows go to Norwood 7, I'm screwed. Because my lateral ham's gonna drop, I would need more transplant here, like at least 1,000 grafts. I already actually did a video assessment of my transplant somewhere on my channel. Just find this video. It's really, really informative. As always, as all my videos. And nonetheless, if that would drop and my crown gonna drop, I would need more grafts to transplant, but I don't have this many grafts available. So even, you know, my beard is super weak, and I would definitely not use chest hair because it's useless. Like 30% like anagen phase and 70% telogen phase. It's not worth it. So yeah, the key prevention for the hair loss for the long term. You should use RU5841, dutasterate 5 mg of Lontin daily, and pray to God. Well, I don't think it's a good idea to throw a kitchen sink at the same time unless you are 100% committed to it. Because we know Lonitin, like oral minoxidil, definitely works for everyone because it's going through the liver. And you know, or topical minoxidil doesn't work for everyone because not everyone has enough sulfur transferase enzymes on their scalps to convert minoxidil to its active form, minoxidil sulfide, which is actually promoting, you know, hair growth, the anagen phase. But oral minoxidil is definitely working 100% of the time. And yeah, and of course dutasterate, yes, but RU, I've got a mixed feelings RU because it's never been studied properly. There's no proper source for it. For what you know, tomorrow maybe your supplier gonna cut it off and you're gonna be without RU, and then what you're gonna do? You're gonna lose all your gains again. It's just, it's not a good long-term solution in my opinion. Dutasterate, yes. That's neck hair. That's neck hair, but it's a retrograde. It's a nape. Who's the best FUT clinic in Europe? Hattingen. Yes, I think Hattingen are the best. They also some people calling them the Hassan and Wonk of Europe, because Hassan Wonk is obviously the best in you know, in Canada and overall in the world, one of the best. He should definitely send finasteride even if no regrowth for the health of the donor. Well, agreed, but also if the donor is miniaturizing, then it's like it's a false hope. For long term, finasteride is not like 100% stopping hair loss forever. It's slowing down dramatically, but in the course of the 10-20 years, if you're gonna create a lot of FUT or FUE scars and the hair is still gonna miniaturize, gonna be not enough hair to cover it, it might create more problems. You have to be very careful with this kind of decisions if there's like a DUPA in the donor. Anyways, let's go back to emails. Images after 4 months of transplant. Okay, so that's Somali. Somali, finally we get into your email. Give me 1 second, let's have a look. Okay, oh, you didn't blur your pictures, so I hope you don't mind. 4 months. Okay, so I see the hairline. There's a patch in the kind of, you know, frontal forelock, frontal third. But at 4 months, to be honest, you should expect nothing. It's like it's the very beginning of the growth, you know, of your transplant. So definitely nothing to expect. I'm just wondering, is that it was a FEE? Definitely, because the donor looks a little not the healthiest over here. Of course, first of all, never take pictures with a flashlight. You're always gonna create worst case than it actually is. But yeah, I think, I don't know, I think you're on track. There is, like, it's difficult to say. There is there should not be much improvement in the 4 months. Again, I don't see any pictures before transplant. I guess that's all the pictures after the transplant. But yeah, just stay the course. Just don't do anything. Try not to look in the mirror too much, and should be alright. I'm just worried here. It's like some, you know, bald spots. Do you have like a alopecia areata, or is it indeed dupa, or did they harvest from here? It looks a little bit worrying. But yeah, nonetheless, cannot do much. Make sure you stay on medication if you are on the medication, and yeah, just try not to look in the mirror for the next at least 2-3 months. But the good news is the best time is just in front of you, basically. The growth starting from 4 months. So now on a weekly basis, basically you're gonna see more and more improvement. I remember it was a really great time. Okay, now who was it? Checkmate. I see by the profile picture it's you. I went for FE at Cosmetica, 2,800 grafts, nearly 20-year-old, and very little hair loss history in family. I did because I needed my hair for job purposes. Doctor said donor is about 5,500 grafts. Do I have thick hair? Okay, so I hope you, yeah. I think I've seen your pictures. Do need to go with FD, you'll lose more hair in the future because you need finasteride. Because I can't use finasteride. And there you go. My protocol will be buy me 2-4 years. Okay. What are these screenshots going to OneDrive? Okay, let's check first earlier pictures. By the way, guys, I hope you understand that if you're sending me emails, I'm not blurring anything, I'm just straight away. So if you didn't blur the face, that's on you. Okay. All right, Norwood 3 basically. It's very aggressive. If you say that you don't have much hair loss in the family, then I don't see any reason why not. But again, being 20 years old and being already Norwood 3, are you sure there is no aggressive hair loss? Nonetheless, it looks pretty thick. Yeah, it's nicely, densely packed. Substantially lowered. Looks really thick. And it was from beard as well harvested, I see. I'm sorry about that. This is just hilarious, like a straight line. They could have at least tried to fade it or something. I don't know. This is just so bad. In this case, I would just shave it everything. Looks ridiculous. Donor looks pretty good, I must say, definitely. It's not too bad. Okay, so what, that was the result. How long was it? Need to find your message. If you could comment. I expect Norwood 5 in my case had already my hairline in 2000 procedure. 2 email. Look, 2 email. Oh, you sent me 2 emails. Oh, I see. Second email. That's more pictures. Okay. All right, so second email is 5.5 months, so almost 6 months after the transplant hairline. Okay, let's have a look. So yeah, looks really nice, man. And considering it's early stage, you still the growth is still ahead of you. So yeah, it's getting there. It does look pretty good. I think they did a great job. Like a finer singles. What's that? Oh, it's a comparison. It was double picture. Let's just go like that. I would love to see like a proper close-ups, you know, like I always do. But yeah, from here it looks pretty good, to be honest. Looks like they did a pretty good job. I was thinking there was some more screenshots, something you sent me here, pictures. It takes some time. Okay, I'm just gonna open this one because it takes some time to open everything. I guess that's again the same, 5.5 months. Yeah, looks like they use some finer grafts. Yeah, the quality is not the best. Yeah, I think the job is decent. Or was it before your transplant? Or after? Now I'm thinking the forehead is. Hold on, let me compare with these pictures. That was before. I see. I was like thinking this is like too soft to be true. Man, it was not really that bad. Okay, anyways, yeah, I think it looks alright. It looks pretty good. I would be interested to see how it's gonna turn out after another 5 months, and with a better quality, like a close-up, just to see, you know, the finer details, the single graft, you know, angle of the hair and everything, micro irregularities, all the nerdy stuff. Okay, let's move on. I just saw your YouTube channel and I just thought to write to you. Interesting. I wonder if this person actually just found me on YouTube while alive or been a subscriber. I hope you make sure to subscribe to the channel. Anyways, 27th February had my FE transplant in India. In the clinic, I was told that 4,000 grafts implant was done. It was not counted and told to me the exact number of grafts done. It was not counted, so how do they know? The procedure went well and I washed my head after 10 days. Should you wash your head immediately, but yeah. There were some areas where I saw evident gaps in the front hairline. That was a concern for me. I was told the area will be okay in time before pictures. Okay, so pretty severe hair loss. Difficult to say because of the shine, but yeah, it looks like a Norwood 6 really, because like the temple peaks are completely gone. So it was a really minor transplant. Let's go back again. Did cover here, pretty good density, but then here, are they even going all the way here to this area? Okay, first of all, are you on any medication? Because in your case, finasteride and minoxidil will definitely go a long way. Especially with your current transplant that didn't like go really deep into, you know, all the areas, just mainly, you know, mainly hairline and just like a few grafts here and there sprinkled all over. I have doubts about the gaps in the hairline. Well, I mean, gaps, which one you're talking about? These gaps, it's never possible to achieve perfect density in the first time. Okay, I see what you're talking about. Yes, this is definitely a disconnect. Yeah, okay. So doesn't look like yeah, it's gonna be a gap in there. On another side, when the hair gonna grow longer, it's just gonna layer on each other, and it's not gonna be that visible as it is with a super short hair. So, you know, you have to keep that in mind. But I would definitely go on medication if you're not yet already on it. One more other concern I had with regard to my donor, I had kept my hair shorter in order to make people get much notice about the procedure. During my trimming, I had always had this concern. I had lost hair due to shock loss in the donor area. Above the picture of my donor after not trimming for 1 month. Okay. Below picture of me trimming my 1 week. Okay, I see. Yeah. So it's yeah, they definitely took very narrow harvesting. Didn't go behind the ears, which is not really great, and it's didn't even try to kind of do more random. But so okay. It doesn't look like it was a very good job. I'll be honest. I'm always honest about everything. But it might be shock loss, which means after 3 to 6 months, some hair might grow back. So why shock loss occurs? It can be two shock loss, permanent and temporary. So if it's permanent, it means they damage the surrounding grafts during the surgery with the punch. When they're extracting, they're not putting proper angle, and they just, or they just, punching like that super quickly, and they're just destroying surrounding grafts. They're never gonna grow back. But temporary shock loss, it's when they're putting too much anesthesia, for example, or like, saline, if it's like in the front, to like blow up the head so they can easier implant more grafts, especially in the middle square. Anyways, if they're using extra anesthesia, it might create like this temporary shock loss, and also surrounding trauma as well can happen. And if that's the case, then after 3 to 6 months, you're gonna see more like an improvement. Basically, the hair gonna start growing back, because it basically what it did, it went into premature telogen phase. So after three months, roughly 100 days, it should start growing back. So after 3 months, if that's not resolved, then yeah, hold on, intro 27, so it's been already 3 months, wasn't it? 27th of February. So if that's still the same, then it's, yeah, I'm afraid that's the way it's gonna stay. So, below this picture of my donor today. Yeah. Good way to conceal it is if you would do like a low skin fade in this area. If you barber, do low skin fade here, and then like a shorter hair and going into longer hair. If it's gonna be a gradual fade, but super short until the area where the extraction starts, and it's not gonna be as visible. I've seen so many examples like that it's like looking really, and even for my case as well, when I have a super low like a kind of a skin fade, but then when the extraction starts, the hair is like getting longer and longer and longer, and it looks really good. So I think it might work really well. Definitely never do just one, size everywhere. Another option might be a good option for the future, just to do some SMP, scalp micropigmentation. It works wonders in the donor area, definitely. I won't cut my hair anymore. 5 mark updates. Okay, so, well, recipient area here, hold on. It doesn't look really that bad here at 5 months. Of course, it's a dark, picture and everything, but it might be not that bad. Of course, you would definitely need much more work done, considering your starting point. Whereas this picture, you would need to cover basically everything properly. So far, you had like a little bit in the hairline, and 4,000 grafts. I really don't think it's 4,000 grafts. I think it's something around 2,500 maybe, at best. It doesn't look like it's just sprinkled here and there. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's what I think. Anyways, I would suggest, like I said, if you're not on medication, jump on finasteride and minoxidil straight away. Definitely gonna help to kind of thicken up the existing native hair and gonna give you a better overall look. And yeah, try to do this haircut like I suggested, and look into SMP. It might do wonders, to be honest. So yeah, and you're definitely gonna experience more improvement in the future. Let's go back to the chat. Where were we? Please check your email. I have sent the pictures of scalp. Got email about Q4, yes, Canada. Any sites from any sites from your increase in oral minoxidil? Bill is asking. No, I did already update video on that, 1 month update, when I already been using 2.5 milligram for, I think it was three days. And yeah, now I'm a week pretty much. Tomorrow's gonna be 1 week and I feel great. Literally don't feel any different. Yeah, so far so good. We'll see. Nope, I send the Imgur link in the chat. Oh, you send the link in the chat. I don't think I can see links in the chat. I think YouTube is blocking those right away. Or maybe not. I don't know. I cannot see any link. So if you could send me the link on my email, that would be better, I think. Oh, thank you so much, Ratex, for 15, whatever that is. What is that currency? You're loved by the community. Also, last time you said I don't need to do a hair transplant yet and wait for med results. That's it, man. If just keep doing the meds. To be honest, meds long term are the best thing you can do for yourself. The hair transplant is great to add a lot of new hair, but if you need to first establish a good baseline, like so you can kind of finish off with the transplant. Transplant should never be a first line of defense, you know, in battling hair loss. It should be your last line in battling hair loss. So yeah, keep that in mind. Metalo Boy, sveikas, ar kažką girdėjo apie Hair Clinic Lietuvoj? Sorry guys, I was a Lithuanian guy, I'm Lithuanian, so I speak Lithuanian. And he's asking about if I heard something about clinic in Lithuania called Hair Clinic. I'm not sure if that's the same. I've heard about 2 clinics in Lithuania, hair transplant clinics, and I didn't particularly like any of them. I mean, I'm not saying they're terrible, but I'm not saying they're great. It's like too early to say. There's no results pretty much online, and if there is something, it's very difficult to judge. So I would need more information. I cannot say anything. Still check it out and give a rough estimate. My chest and abdomen 7,000. Expect Norwood 5 in my. I expect Norwood 5 in my case. Had already my hairline. Okay, so checkmate. Are you expecting to become Norwood 5? If you're expecting to become Norwood 5 and you went that low with the hairline, you might be in troubles, mate. Be careful. Damn, I can't watch now and make pictures now. Are you doing this again sometime? Joey K. Hopefully, yes. I'm actually planning to incorporate live streams a bit more often. How often? I don't know, maybe on a weekly basis. Who knows? Because I'm trying to juggle everything, work, gym, and you know, YouTube and everything. And obviously, like YouTube is pretty much a hobby to me because I'm not making any money that would be justifying spending so much time on it. Like right now, I don't have this much time. I'm already sleeping 6 hours. So yeah, so I think live streams would be much helpful to bring more content, and I know a lot of people are asking for it. And yeah, maybe I'll start doing on a weekly basis. I don't know. What do you think, guys? Let me know in the comments if you think it's a good idea. Right, look to email, second email. Okay. Should I send you email too, or will you look at my link? Okay, I think I already said that. That's a hella low hairline. Pretty bad now. Oh, so many questions. Where was I? I've sent pictures of my scalp. Please check your email. Okay, I see your email is next on my list. Ina Tala. So yeah, bear with me. Gonna go through the chat quickly. Spammed your email. Yeah, I see, Dave. I see your email. I see actually 2 emails in my spam box. I see Mordecai. Mordy, you're in the spam for some reason. That's hilarious. Mordy, my email doesn't like you, but you are always welcome in this channel. You're a good man. I like your contribution into the bold truth as well. Do you still notice any miniaturized hair? Was that for me or for someone else? Question. Did you shoot anything after starting oral minoxidil, and did that not complicate the hair transplant because of hair shedding? So, okay, first of all, I didn't have much hair to begin with. As funny as it sounds, I got a little bit of mid-scalp and crown. It's really difficult to say if I had extra shedding because my hair was buzzed. Excuse me, it was buzzed to pretty much to zero during surgery. So if I was shedding, it's pretty much impossible to say that, you know, I had anything. So plus with the hair transplant shedding, I cannot tell. I can't really answer. I'm pretty sure I had some shedding. It's like minoxidil is definitely always gives shedding, but how much? Difficult to tell. But yeah, I think actually it's a good idea to start like minoxidil after the transplant because you're gonna avoid shedding. So you're gonna have transplant shedding and then you're gonna have medication shedding. So you can combine those both. So you're gonna have two sheddings at the same time. You're gonna look really bad for the first 3 months. So I'm considering looking really bad right now. But after 3 to 4 months, to 5 months maybe, you're gonna look really good because transplant and medication gonna kick in really, really nicely at the same time. So yeah, I guess we shall see. So far, I don't think it negatively impacted my transplant. If anything, it positively impacted my transplant because I think it kind of promotes early growth, oral minoxidil. I'm not sure, it's just my speculation, so don't quote me on that, but that's what I think. Do you notice any, what was it, minoxidil growth? Yes, like I already says, definitely I see a lot of, you know, thickening of existing miniaturized hairs. Do you take creatine for your weight training? Apparently it increases DHT, so maybe not a good idea if you have male pattern baldness. Yes, I do take creatine. I take creatine hydrochlorate, which is a finer version of creatine, unlike monohydrate, so it requires smaller dose. I don't know how it fits into the hair loss creatine, and there's only one study as far as I'm concerned that took like a 30 or 40 rugby players, and they used like a 40 or something like that. They used 40 milligrams of creatine monohydrates per day, and they seen some hair loss. And I assume nobody said that they were on finasteride, so I assume they were not on finasteride. So, like, you would really need to convince really hard me that creatine causes hair loss. Definitely, like, especially if you're on finasteride, impossible. I'm like, they used to take 40 milligrams of monohydrate every day. I'm taking 4 milligrams of hydrochlorate per day, and not even every day, like 4 or 5 times a week. So, and yeah, I've been taking in and out creatine for many years, never related it to hair loss. So yeah, but again, hey, that's just me. As far as I'm concerned, according to studies, it doesn't really do much. This study is not really that great. Where were we? What kind of side effects? Talking to each other. You guys are going crazy here. I'm Mr. Spam. Okay, let's go back to emails. Let's get down to business. Inatala. Okay, so want to know my condition? 20 years, 20 male. How bad my scalp is? I am balding. What type of alopecia is going through? Maybe doing like that. What type of alopecia I'm going through? Is my scalp is healthy or inflamed? Can my hair get thick again? What's your opinion? The bald elliptical patch at the back of the crown is a scar from a wound. Okay, let's have a look. Wow, brilliant picture. Okay, I cannot say anything about it. I cannot even understand which part of the scalp it is. I guess that's a mid-scalp parted a bit, maybe towards the crown. Okay, how bad my scalp is? It's not really that bad. Like, look at my scalp and look at yours. My scalp is bad. Yours is great. It's perspective. Nonetheless, it's not really that bad. Am I balding? I don't know. I cannot say anything from this picture. Sadly, you just parted hair. What type of alopecia I'm going through? Again, no idea. Like, it would be easier to see a whole picture from the top view like that. That would be better, but and obviously with the shorter hair. Is my scalp healthy or inflamed? Impossible to tell. Can my hair get thick again? It depends what's the problem and if there is a problem. If it's indeed miniaturization due to male pattern baldness, then finasteride, minoxidil, finasteride, dutasteride could help. If it's any other reason, minoxidil and microneedling could help to thicken up the hair. Yeah, what's your opinion? That's my opinion. I would strongly advise just to go ahead and book an appointment with a dermatologist and go and let them assess your scalp. And they're gonna be able to see you, to tell you properly. They're gonna be able to check you under microscope and everything. And I think that's the best way to go about it, as opposed to, you know, just just trying to send some random stranger picture like that, because it's impossible really to tell anything. So yeah. Sorry to disappoint you, but it's not enough information. Transplant 1900 grafts from Dave. Let's see, Dave. Okay, so Norwood 3. All the thin miniaturized hair. It's nicely packed. Although the hair is super short, the angles, the hair directions look pretty good, like a nice, like a random pattern. I think it looks great as a job, as a hair transplant. Oh, I love these pictures, these quality pictures. All right. Yeah, man. Looks good. Let's zoom in. Oh, I absolutely love this picture. I'm such a nerd. Single, double, single, single. No, that maybe not. Maybe it's a thick single. There is a double. Double, double, double. Anyways, few doubles, but overall, man, looks nice. Yeah, the hair flow. I think it's matching your native hair. Like, here it goes down, here it goes down, and then it's here. Well, not drastically changing the direction. Yeah, kind of, and then here is flowing this way. Not perfect, but it looks really good. Like, compared to what I've seen, it's great. Interesting donor. I wonder why did they decided to leave like this, for example, area thinner, not to take any extractions. Maybe it's like miniaturizing or something. And here is like a proper patch with no extraction, and on the other side here is a lot of extraction. Well, I'm being a very judgy, so yeah. It's not really that bad. It's actually a pretty good job. Like, I've seen such a terrible jobs. This is great. How's the density? I think density is great. Is okay. It's not gonna be super dense. Like, let's be honest, in one transplant it's impossible to like get what 70-80 grafts per centimeter square. Impossible. But here it looks like it might be 50 plus grafts per centimeter square. Definitely. So yeah, I'm pretty sure it should look great, especially when the hair is a little bit longer. Last picture, one day after. Oh, so yeah, okay. The extractions first day before, rest 4 weeks after. Now 2.5 months. Oh, so is it that 2.5 months after? Well, anyways, man, 2.5 months, it's really nothing. It's like I said, up to 3-4 months, don't expect any growth. So congrats on transplant. It looks really nice. I really like this kind of job. Looks really clean. It's not perfect, but it doesn't have to be perfect, you know, to make everyone happy, basically. Not everyone is a nerd like me, like myself, but yeah, looks really good. Congrats, stay the course, just try to avoid mirrors, and yeah, keep me updated. I would be curious to see your progress. It's a really interesting job. Let's go ahead. Oh, Dave, you sent me another picture, another email with more pictures. Holy sh. That's your. Okay, let's. While everyone has already been watching your pictures, let's show quickly. So more pictures. I don't know what's that. This is, I bet, before transplant. Oh, that's the same picture, just sent it so many times. Okay, well, anyways, yeah, looks good. Just, yeah, stay away from the mirrors for the upcoming months. Mordecai Zipkov, it's your turn. You got only one picture. Let's have a look. And drum roll, this is Mordy's head. Okay, Mordy, you're what, Norwood 5, are you? Looks very similar to me, surprisingly. You got a little bit of a forelock here. The crown is not really dipping that much. I guess your whorl is on the edge of the, you know, thinning out. Lateral humps are okay. They're not going super low, but they're not super strong. Very similar to me, to be honest. Very similar. Maybe a bit worse. Like very, very small amount. Oh, I wonder how is your donor, because I think the donor would dictate basically how good of a, you know, candidate you are for a transplant. But yeah, if the donor is good, one FUT, even one FUT can give you a huge improvement. One FUT, one FUE, you all set. Or two big FUEs if the donor allows, with a good, you know, spacing and everything. And if it's not gonna be, if after, let's say, I would eyeball 5,000 grafts could drastically change you, but it would be not perfect, but it would be really, really, really dramatic, you know, change. But again, the question is, how is your donor? And I know Joe and Spencer Coburn, they're like always telling, you know, trying to tell you not to go for under the knife, but I'm aware you've been already researching for a long time and you've been trying various different treatments. I think it's not a bad idea to look into the transplant, but again, assess. I mean, you know what to do, man. Like just make sure your donor is suitable for transplant, and not just for the transplant, but suitable to cover the scars of the transplant for many years, you know, in the future. If you think that's possible, and if your doctor, whoever you're gonna choose to go to, if he thinks it's possible, then to just go for it. Like, I don't see any problem. If there is no DUPA and you tried everything you can do to stop further progression of hair loss and regrowth, then why not? Yeah, that's my take on it. I hope Joe and Spencer are not gonna kill me for trying to contradict them a little bit, but hey, everyone has their own opinion, isn't it? Where was I? I miss calling into Bold Truth, but I have to have dinner with mom on Fridays. Family is most important. Oh, okay. Let's try to catch up. By the way, guys, if you didn't like the video, go ahead and like it right now. That's gonna be helpful. And yeah, if you haven't subscribed for some reason, which is weird, I'm pretty sure everyone is subscribed who is watching me, otherwise how would you know? But yeah, if you're not subscribed, just do it. You're missing out on a lot of good things. Bro, I had the transplant done last November. The results was good, but the problem when I stopped PRP, my old hair started falling like crazy. So what your suggestions? Minoxidil, because I'm planning for second transplant. Well, this is one of the biggest reasons why I'm not a big fan of PRP, because it's, to be honest, not really long-term sustainable. Like, surely it can work, but it can be very expensive. It can be difficult to get into the, you know, your doctor's office and get it done. And if you miss it, you're gonna go back to your baseline or even below. You know, you're gonna lose all your gains. And so, to what is worth all your money is down the drain now for the PRPs, and it can be costly. That's why I'm a big proponent of finasteride and minoxidil. It's cheap, it's effective, it's super easy to, you know, comply long term compared to PRP. So I would suggest to, if you're not on finasteride, as always, get on finasteride. Minoxidil, if you didn't start it yet and you're planning second transplant, it depends when. If you're planning to do it like right now, soon, and you actually need to do it, like for example my case when I had really thin mid-scalp and crown, yes, then in this case I would not start minoxidil and just do the transplant. But if you just want more like visual density, maybe you could potentially achieve this visual density just with the adding minoxidil microneedling and finasteride, if you know it. You know what I mean? So you might be even able to avoid the surgery altogether. So it's worth something to think about. Taking both, you should take finasteride or deduction on both. Thanks bro, watching this back later. Next time I'll send pictures to Big Boss. Good man, good Joe. Bachatero, is that vodka? Where is your alcoholic beverage like last time? I guess you will never find out. Man, do you think I could drink vodka with such a, you know, cool face, chill? And so much, so quick? Nah. Or could I? Anyways, I'm male, but my pattern hair loss looks like female pattern hair loss. I have low hairline and diffused thinning on top. And size, what type of hair loss is this? Best way is just to go and see a dermatologist. It's always going to be the best way to determine, you know, especially if it's not like a conventional male pattern, like in the Norwood scale, let's say. The best way to do it is just through the dermatologist. Do you only take finasteride 1 mg a day, or what do you think of combining it with dutasteride as a complement? I mean, I'm taking finasteride and oral minoxidil, if that's the question for me, by the way. Rob M. Yeah, 1 mg a day. And in terms of dutasteride, some say it's a good idea to add once a week dutasteride on top of finasteride. So if you're taking finasteride Monday to Sunday, so instead of taking finasteride, take dutasteride. So that's the only change. And because it's blocking type 1 and as well of alpha reductase as opposed to just 2 and 3 like finasteride does, and inhibits more DHT, like 90% plus compared to finasteride up to 70%. So even one dose a week can go a long way, because dutasteride has a very long half-life. It stays in the body for very long, like around 4 times longer than finasteride, maybe even longer probably. So yeah, it's a good idea if you got really aggressive hair loss, but only if you've been on finasteride 1 mg a day for 2 years and you still think there is not enough improvement, or you're still losing the ground. I would only then try to, you know, look into dutasteride. Other than that, it can be a bit too strong, if you know what I mean. Like, you still need DHT in your body, like whether you like it or not. It's very like a potent, you know, androgen. It's like 4 times more potent than, you know, testosterone. So maybe some people are running their, let's say, how to say, their libido on DHT because their natural testosterone is low. It makes sense. I don't want to go too deep into it, but if you got natural testosterone low, your DHT might be not a good idea to, you know, to reduce dramatically. But anyways, it's yeah, it depends on your case. Raphael, is whey protein isolate bad for male hair? No. I would be the first person on YouTube contradicting this famous story. Whey protein will not cause your hair loss. From what I know, the only studies that are done on this, they're done by the people that are selling different kind of shakes. Biased? Who knows? And it's, to be honest, like, it would be very obvious, like, that if whey isolate would spike somehow your DHT so much that you experience a lot of hair loss. If that would be the case, everyone would know about it. And since nobody knows about it, that's not the case. Especially it might be the same like creatine, very, very small amount that is negligible. And especially if you're already taking finasteride, nothing can happen. If you want to play it safe, just don't take it. I personally am not convinced. From what I've seen, Not convincing. Not to me. I really don't think it's gonna do anything to do hair loss. Popping a pill, finasteride and Lonitin one straight after feels like I can fight the god. That's so hilarious. I'm popping my finasteride and minoxidil in the morning and I feel absolutely nothing. Like, yeah, took the pill, yeah, whatever, move on. By the way, my Madonna is so jacked. Well, he been working out for freaking 10 years or something. What do you want? He better be jacked. What about me? Where are you? I guess you were the other person? No. Oh, holy cow, I'm still getting some more emails. Let's go back to emails. I think I didn't expect so many, so that's not that great. I got an email from 12-month finasteride Asakura. I got the link. These are my before and after pics, exactly 1 year difference. After that, I added Lonitin and been on it for 2 months, no side effects whatsoever. Drum roll. Let's do it. Finasteride only 12 months. Okay. Okay. All right. Let me read it again. 1 year finasteride and then you added minoxidil. And question is now, did you shed this hair? I mean, to be honest, like it bring quite a lot of hair that were really wispy, really thin, but I think it didn't have time to thicken them up. 1 year of finasteride is really just the beginning. Like I said on that video of long-term finasteride efficacy, it's the lower your node level, the more improvement you're gonna see over time. So there's like people that had, if you're Norwood 2 or Norwood 3, you can expect more continuous efficacy, more continuous improvement in the first 6 years. So 1 year in the grand scheme of things is nothing. But if you add minoxidil, Lonitin, man, I think you're gonna be looking good. I really think you're gonna look good. Hey, drop me messages after another year or even 6 months. I would be curious to see. I'm pretty sure this is gonna turn out pretty nicely. Tell you that much. Okay, Mordy, think so? This is today. Need to send you donor pics. I need to send you before medical therapy pics. Don't say no, but Joe says maybe. Going to Dr. Cole. Just having trouble getting on schedule. Dr. Cole is a great surgeon, so that's a good choice, man. He's very busy. Let's try to catch up with the chat. Why did you choose to go up to 2.5 milligram oral? I thought they say 125 should be enough, and then wait 6 months if not enough improvement. Well, just my personal choice, and it's like, who are they saying 125? From what I know, oral minoxidil is extremely dose dependent. So the higher you go, the more efficacy you're gonna expect, but also more side effects. So from my research, 2.5 milligram per day is the best kind of risk and reward type of situation, basically. 125 is lower end, best risk and reward, is still efficacious and there's a very small amount of side effects. With 2.5 milligram you can expect more side effects obviously, but definitely gonna be more improvement. So I just want to, I'm not gonna be going to 5 milligram. I personally established for myself my line. I drew the line where is my maximum tolerated dose, and I stopped at 2.5. I think that's gonna be the best dose in terms of efficacy and side effects. And so far again, I'm monitoring side effects if it's gonna be good or bad. I think I need this 2.5 because my hair loss is pretty severe and I have a lot of really miniature hair. So yeah, I think it would be a great boost. That's again my personal opinion. You're talking about my personal circumstances, and I just took this decision after a long consideration. So I know exactly what I'm doing. Yeah, but yeah, everyone should think, think for themselves, and obviously speak to their, doctor. Bro, how many mails you got? When's my turn? Well, just spoke about it. What's your view on laser helmets? Useless. Well, to be honest, I don't think laser helmets are useless. I think if you're gonna spend $2,000, $3,000 on a laser helmet, that's useless. Yes, but if you spend 200, 300 bucks on it from China, if you do a good research, if you find the best helmet that is as good as the ones that are super expensive minus the brand name, it might be just pretty good. There is some evidence saying that lasers like LLT, low laser light therapy, is effective in miniaturized hair. It works by promoting, nobody really knows what the blood flow is, it antigen phase somehow, but the hair becomes thicker, pretty much like minoxidil. Your result gonna be looking like minoxidil, but like 10 times less. Some people say they experienced like dramatic difference. I'm not buying into it, but I think there is no side effects. The only side effects is a slimmer wallet. So if you got extra cash that you don't mind losing, might as well try it. It's like one of those that, what's the worst that can happen? Well, nothing, you just lost money. Okay, you can, go and make it, or, earn it or whatever. That's it. So I think I was actually thinking for a very long time to just buy one of those caps and just, start using it once, twice, 3 times a week. It won't hurt, And considering I've got a lot of miniaturized hair, why not? But because I did the transplants and the second one, especially now, I want to wait basically and see how it's gonna turn out. But I'm still thinking every day. Maybe I should, no, not every day, once a month. If I should buy LLT or not. So yeah, I think they might work, but don't expect miracles from them. Basically, that's my take on it. Thanks, Rolandas. Excuse for spam. I have better before pictures sent. Nah, man, it's fine. Don't worry about it. That's what I'm for here. Reply to spam. I was the dude with 12 months. Yeah, I know, Sakura. How long will it take finasteride for? Lifetime? Yes, obviously. I mean, I'm gonna be taking finasteride until I'm gonna die, or until I stop caring about my hair, or until I'm gonna run out of finasteride supply and there's no way I can get it. That's the only 3 possibilities when I'm gonna stop using finasteride. So I'm really hoping that's gonna be the first one. And I'm really hoping that's not gonna happen soon. Yeah, we shall see. Life is interesting. Thanks, Rolandas. I also didn't find any peer-reviewed studies, only Dr. Shapiro's sales speech for his powder. Raphael, that's exactly what I'm talking about. So yeah, only one study coming from the person who is selling another shake. Not buying it. How long will you take finasteride for after transplant? Please tell. Okay, I just answered that. I have not had a shed from finasteride, but I had terrible shed from Lonatan. Well, yeah, finasteride shed is not really that common. Minoxidil, pretty much every single person is getting it. And yeah, Lonatan for me, like I said, hard to tell, but I'm like 99% sure I had it. I just didn't really know because my hair was super short. Oh man, this guy is spamming with the same question. Forever, dude. What do you think of a combination of EFET procedure? It's one of the best combinations, but is it the best for you personally? Only you can decide. I mean, maybe not you, your doctor, but each case can be approached in a different way. So I am not a big believer that there is one size fits all kind of, FET for everyone, like, this, the Dr. Bloxam, from Feller. FET 90% of the time, and then FE for like 500 grafts. Like, I think you can do both in certain situations. You can combine, you can whatever. I can go for FET right now. I got 6,500 FE grafts extracted. I still can get FET. It's not going to be as great as it could have been if I would go in the first place, but it still can yield, I don't know, 2,000 grafts maybe, from ear to ear, maybe even more. And if it's going to be closed and if it's going to heal properly, I still have the same amount of donor left, minus a little bit less skin. It makes sense. So if I would go right now for another FUE, I could get maximum 2000. Game over. Maximum. If I would go for FUT and FUE, I could get maybe another 3000. Maybe even more. So, you know, only because of, you know, the way it's done. Just send you some picture of the sites. Oh, let's see. Mordecai, send me some more spam messages. Oh, I don't see any message, mate. I guess need to wait a little bit longer. The longer are you on financially, the less side effects you will have. It's very system friendly. System friendly. You would get any side effects most likely, but okay. After 5 years, the rate of side effects is 0%. May happen sooner or later, considering long term. The death. The death. Asakura is a very funny guy. Can you get bald after some years of transplant? I think we need to go back to the very basics of hair loss and transplants to answer your question. It's gonna take so much time. So the short answer is maybe. Right. Max, could you, no, you could easily get more than 3000. Maybe. Maybe, who knows? You know, like there's one thing that you need to consider. Maybe I could take more than 3000, but then it's gonna be so thin overall that I'm gonna have so many scars. It's like, it's not a good, you know, it's not gonna be a good look. You know what I mean? Even if extractions are done properly, spaced enough, it's still gonna look very, very thin. It's not a great look. It doesn't look like you have experienced that much shedding on second transplant. I did shed like, excuse me, more than 80% of hairs, definitely. Most of my transplant was done in the mid scalp. In crown, there was around 600 to 700 grafts in my full third, and about 100, I think, grafts only in the temple peaks. That's it. So right now the front, most people say don't experience any shedding because of the front, but it's the result of the first transplant. That's not the second transplant. So yeah, it's, I guess, not that easy to see, but mid scalp is gone. I can actually, you know what? I can actually show you pictures. So there's a good thing. Interesting videos gonna coming up, guys. You're gonna love it. I took a picture every day since I got a transplant in a different kind of, you know, angles, and I'm gonna do a lot of different videos which different angle, comparing donor, recipient, you know, top, right side, left side, and everything. Yeah, it's gonna be really, really interesting. Hold on, today's quality was not really good. I think here. Okay, this picture, I took it yesterday, as always, and this is a brilliant example that you can see where my transplanted hairs are. Where are they? They are black. They're very dark. They're standing out, like you see here, and they are kind of growing in this random weird direction. This one, that one, here, there. You can see all over the place, but there are not really that many. You can count them. If I would start counting, I think I could count maybe 50 hairs, 60 hairs, out of what? Out of 9,000? That's nothing. So I shed pretty much everything. And yeah, they're very visible. You know what I mean? Here, look, this like especially with these tiny bulbs over here. This one, here, they're standing out because they were just transplanted, and like at first they are not behaving like a normal hair. They're growing in random ways. Look, this one darker. You can clearly see. So yeah, and by the way, that's my crown. You see, that's Norwood 5 pattern, and this is Norwood 6 pattern. And I could potentially in the future go into Norwood 6, although there is still really good, you know, density in there. But my crown my crown, and actually mid-scalp. All of this hair in the mid-scalp is pretty much a result of finasteride. I didn't have so many. And now, combined with minoxidil's thickening them up, man, this is gonna look great after 6 months only, I think. Again, I hope everything gonna grow, so we shall see. We shall see. So yeah, can you not get grafts from your beard or body hair as well? I can get. First of all, okay, there is a very important thing. Again, it's coming on my, I think, did I spoke about it, my hair cycles? Maybe not. Anyways, scalp hair, anagen phase, which is a growth phase, which means how long the hair gonna grow. The anagen phase is between 2 and 6 or maybe 7 years. So if you take the healthy hair from the donor, put in the front, it's gonna grow between 2 to 7 years before it's gonna fall down and then start growing from zero once again. Beard hair, anagen phase is up to 1 year. For some individuals, of course, it can be more, it can be less. It's up to individual. Some people have anagen phases very long that they can grow this super long, beard. But most of people cannot grow very long beard. It's like here and then that's it. Why? Because the anagen phase like up to 1 year, and then it falls down. Then it's catagen phase, and then telogen phase, and then go back to anagen phase, and it's growing from zero. So if you transplant, and then again, telogen phase is longer than telogen phase is the resting phase when the hair is not growing. It's longer than the scalp hair. So if you're gonna implant a lot of beard hairs on the top, first of all, the texture is really different. It looks very different. It's much thicker, much coarser. It grows in weird angles. It's mostly single graft. It doesn't look really nice, especially if you put somewhere in the front in the hairline. But they're not gonna be growing long. They're not gonna be growing as they're not gonna be looking as great. And if you're gonna take from chest, for example, the chest hair is even worse. It's growing up to 6 months, maybe even less, before it falls out. Have you noticed that your chest hair is never growing? Like my chest hair, I think, is like this much maximum. Maybe even less. It never grew any longer, and then it falls down. That's it. So because the anagen phase is super short. Other hairs like arms, for example, I never did anything. I never shaved anything. Look how short it is and wispy. The anagen phase is up to like 60 days, maybe even less, 1 month. So it's not gonna grow like much. The same on the legs. I never did anything like much, and it just grows this much. If you're gonna transplant this hair, it's gonna be exactly the same. So you're gonna grow a little bit and then gonna fall out. Half a year there is no hair. So it's a waste of time and money and energy and everything. It's very bad. So scalp hair is king. Beard hair, it can help a little bit if it's mixed with scalp hair for density in the mid scalp. I hate when people transplanting beard hairs into the crown because the direction is it's very bad. Anyways, yeah, body hair, not a fan. So it's like I know some doctors doing a lot of body hair. They just milking money. That's my opinion. That's all they do. That's all they do. Mordecai, the pics should be there now. The sides looks a bit thinner than they actually are because I have some gray hair. Ah man, you can't believe I've got some gray hair. I've got actually lots of gray hair. I am actually looking into this right now. Excuse me. It appears that because of the surgery, the hair might appear a bit lighter, whiter, lose the pigment much sooner. I noticed after the second transplant in my donor area, there was much more like a white hairs than it was before. Before was like a very few. Now it's quite a lot. Mordecai, you went again on spam. That's hilarious. Let's have a look. Holy crap. Oh yes, okay, I see. My first question actually would be, did you have a transplant? Because it looks really thin. It looks like it's a diffuse. It's like a dupa. Have you been actually? Did any surgeon told you that you have dupa? Because it looks pretty diffused. Doesn't look great. Around the ears, of course. Maybe occipital area, I'm pretty sure it's much thicker, but okay, now I see why Spencer says no and the Joe says maybe. It's a very strong maybe. the donor is not really that. I mean, like, listen, you can extract hairs, especially like, look, here is so dark. Like, you could, there is no reason why you couldn't extract like from here, from like even this area, and touch less here. If the surgeon gonna strategically extract the hairs, you can get, but I don't think you can get a lot of like grafts. Maybe 2-3. I don't see the occipital area, but assuming occipital area is always better, maybe 3,000 grafts you can get away with, and it's still gonna look somewhat similar if extractions are done properly. But yeah, overall it's not very strong donor, so you have to be very careful moving forward with the transplant. And I'm sure you are. Like, I know you're making like a ton of research and everything. So yeah, just really assess your pros and cons, and be realistic with yourself. What kind of results you can expect. That would be my suggestion. Get some more pictures from someone. Dave. All right, I'm gonna switch off my my email. I'm not gonna be looking into emails anymore. It's getting late. Need to wrap up and go to have some food and have some more water because I'm running low. I'm getting thirsty. Anyways, let's have a look at some final messages. If you got any questions, guys, as always, comment down below. Yeah, don't forget to like the video. That's helped me a lot. Always like every single video if you like it. If you don't like it, then why are you watching it? Where were we? Zbikov. Do you recommend any good FET surgeons in Turkey? I do not know any good FET surgeon in Turkey, I'm afraid. I'm losing hair from crown and hairline simultaneously. Looks like I'm gonna go Norwood 6 directly. Well, just do best you can in terms of prevention further hair loss. Take finasteride, take if you need dutasteride, maybe, do your best. Do your best of preventing any further hair loss. That's the best you can do right now. What are your thoughts on Dr. Marwan Saifi? What are your... Okay, so I've seen really few results. One of them was obviously Killian the chemist on YouTube that I interviewed like a while ago already, and his result looks great. But to be honest, I was a bit, at first I thought his whole like temple peaks and hairline was done, but he had quite a lot of temple peaks. He mainly added like density, not the actual, but yeah, no, like from what I've seen, looks really good. I haven't seen much work, but I think he's worth looking. Definitely worth looking at. If he did one job good and he's doing everything by himself, chances are that he's gonna do another job just as good, and the third job as good, and the fifth job just as good. Okay, so yeah, worth looking at if you just look at more cases and think for yourself. Yeah, that's my opinion on him. Going on 4 months waiting for Dr. Ferreira's response. Holy cow! I think it's getting ridiculous, to be honest. I think when I reached out to him, he was pretty much unknown. There was nothing online about him, so he was very responsive. Now he's just so busy. He's been flooded with emails. I feel bad because he's trying to do a very good job. He's trying to do everything by himself, reply to every assessment. But it's impossible to accommodate so many people. So either he has to change something in his practice, like in terms of emails, maybe he needs to hire someone to reply to emails, or I don't know, he needs to change something, because it doesn't work. Like 4 months waiting, personally I would not wait. I remember I was chatting with another doctor before Dr. Ferreira was, who was it, Ximena Villa from Spain. I was really considering her to go on, but their office was replying to me one message in about 2 weeks. Like, so we're going back and forth with emails, and every email I'm getting back in about 2 weeks. And my possible date was moving forward every time by about 1 month. So at first it was September, they said, okay, in May we got opening. I was like, fucking May, okay. Then I'm asking more questions, and then, okay, so when's the next day? The next day is June, and then July, and then, like, you know, like, I don't know, for me, it's not great. And, you know, I cannot blame him. He's just, like I said, he's a good doctor. He's doing amazing job. He's a really good doctor. But emails is just he just has to change something. Question, how do you transplant gray hair? You do the same way like you do black hair or any other color hair. It's just can be more difficult to see the white hair. I know, I think I've heard somewhere that if you have like a lot of white hair, they just, you know, color it. They just, you know, change the color to black, and that's it, and then do extractions. What's the problem? So yeah. You might have talked about this already, but what are the best hair for temple restoration? I hear name is good, but does not have a long life. Oh, wait, sorry. What are the best hair for temple restoration? So the best hair for temple peak, I suppose it's talking about this area. So they're the finer single grafts taken from around the ears and the nape of the neck over here. In these areas, they're finer single grafts. Not everyone gonna be a candidate for it though. If you got retrograde alopecia, you're not a candidate. It means your hair in these areas are actively miniaturizing in exactly those areas, around the ears and down the nape. Other than that, in the donor in general, so in the donor normally there are different hairs. They're not all of them gonna be super thick. Some of them gonna be finer, some of them gonna be thinner, and it does not necessarily mean they're miniaturizing. It's just they're just thinner hair. That's it. They're different caliber. So if a good surgeon, again, he could just, you know, go around and, you know, pick the right one, separate them, and then choose to put in the temple peak. I guess that was your question. I don't have dupa, but when I rub the back or sides of the head hard, 1 or 2 hair fall out. Can you please tell me something on that? Just best bet, go see good hair transplant doctor or dermatologist, trichologist, and take it from there. It's like, I mean, I cannot diagnose you. I'm not doctor, and I cannot tell you what to do, or like by just, you know, like that. It's very difficult. It's very specific. I can with confidence say if that's male pattern baldness, then finasteride. That's like, you don't have to be a doctor to say it, but if that's something really specific that you think it's very unusual, just go to a, you know, to a professional, let them see your hair in person, and, you know, they're gonna tell you. I've been to a number of surgeons, no one mentions dupa. Dr. Doran said the donor was average to below average. Okay, well, that's good. If they don't say it's diffuse and pattern alopecia, you have just thin donor, like normally, then did you have the same thin donor like 10 years ago, 20 years ago? If that's the case, then strategic, you know, extraction would be the key. Just make sure you go to someone and make sure to ask them exact plan. Okay, where are you gonna extract? How many hairs you gonna extract? Show me which area you're gonna extract more, which area you're gonna extract less. Ask questions. You are the boss. That's my approach. Do you take any vitamins after hair transplants, such as MSM, biotin, B complex, zinc, iron? I did take multivitamins, and after and before, and actually I stopped for for a week, and then I started pretty much immediately. And I always take the multivitamin complex. I'm taking ZMA, which has zinc, magnesium, and vitamin B6. Then I'm taking fish oil, and I'm taking there is biotin in my multivitamins, but it's not much there. And yeah, obviously there is a good amount of B complex as well, because it's like a performance kind of, you know, multivitamin. So there is a lot of B group vitamins, because B group vitamins, they're like good for like energy overall. So yeah, and there's iron. I think there's iron as well. I'm not taking MSM. I used to take after my first transplant, but yeah, I decided I don't need it this time. I'm taking oral minoxidil. I think it's gonna speed up as well hair growth. Sure, man, that's why I have been doing all research. Cool. Can you oh, Mordy, another $5. Let's appreciate that, man. Appreciate your support. Can you recommend any good surgeon in the UK? Dr. Ball, Dr. Reddy, that's the only two choices I would personally go. Thanks, man, you're a lifesaver. Max number of grafts you can transplant over several surgeries. It depends at HSB. It depends on individual donor. Some people have only 5,000 grafts. Some people have 14,000 grafts. Some people have even more. Mind-blowing, isn't it? It all depends on the person. It's impossible to say. But what it is possible to say with certainty that if you go to a good person, if you go to a good surgeon, they're gonna take good care of your donor. If they're leaving enough, if it's a FE, they're leaving enough space in between extractions, then they're not damaging donor. And like in my personal opinion, in one FE surgery, the maximum amount that is safe is 4,000 grafts. Unless you have a very big head, then of course you're gonna yield more, maybe 5,500. But more than that in one like surgery, it just can put too much pressure and can be shock loss, and the surgeon can make mistakes by transecting the graft and damaging surrounding. Yeah, but anyways, up to the individual. Can you talk about yourself a little bit? You sound like you're Italian, but you live in England. Well, everyone's saying that I'm Russian. I'm definitely not Italian. I'm from Lithuania. I know Russian, Polish, Lithuanian, English, and now I'm learning Bulgarian. So yeah, I've got definitely an accent. My first language is Russian. That's why I guess it sounds a bit Russian. I live in England. English is my fourth language, so that's why it's so bad. So many mistakes. My question is, where do you see transplants in 10 years from now? To be honest, really honest, I don't see it improving. The only thing I see, the transplant as a techniques, let's say, as an improvement, maybe it will be something, but again, I think we're already kind of at the peak. If we're talking about FE, like the punches are already super small. Like I know Dr. Zarif is using 0.6 millimeter, his own made punches. Can you go lower? I don't think so. So that's already we maximized. What else you can do? Like the extraction pattern and everything, like we already know how to do it. FUT, or everyone knows trichophytic closure. That's the best scar. Like I don't know. Like I've heard there's some clinics saying that they are able to extract one hair from 3-hair graft, for example, and for somehow the way they do it, this hair after transplanting gonna grow like a proper graft while in the donor area, because they didn't take the whole graft, they took like a one part of the graft. It can regrow. It sounds like a science fiction and it sounds like BS, but if there's any truth in that, maybe that's gonna be the future. But other than that, there are more hair mills opening every day. People are going to Turkey more and more, and I'm saying Turkey only because the Turkey is the capital of transplants, because there's so many clinics, it's so easy to open a clinic. But it's the same everywhere, in the UK, in US, in Lithuania, in India, everywhere. So it's easier than ever to make a bad transplant, because people are just obsessed about the cost, and it's easy to reach out to people through social media and everything. Anyway, so I don't think I think in the future going to be a lot of bad transplants. A lot of people that had a bad transplant 10 years ago or 5 years ago, beyond fixable, and that's not great. I'm not looking forward to see these people, but in terms of technology, yeah, I already said that's my opinion. Can you think of evolutionary advantage of the horseshoe? Why on earth do donor hair come from a different type of embryological cells and have less 5AR and AR? Why do we go bald in such a stupid pattern, bro? I wish I had alopecia universalis. Things would be much more simple. Oh yeah, I've been alopecia universalis, like bald everywhere. But you're forgetting, if you would be bald everywhere, you would not have, you know, your eyebrows. You would not have your eyelashes. You would probably even not have your beard. So, are you sure it is better? I don't think so. Yeah, I don't know. And listen, don't forget, not everyone is going to Norwood 7. What does it mean? Every single person has a different susceptibility to DHT in every single hair is susceptible to DHT in different level, let's say. So why some people are destined to be Norwood 3 only? So they have recession here, but everything else is super strong and never gonna recede. Because these follicles, hair follicles, they're not susceptible. Someone who is Norwood 7, so they still have this horseshoe, so-called, but these follicles are not susceptible, but the rest was. So it depends on the person. Like, maybe we're gonna find a way to cure this susceptibility to DHT. Because so far what we know how to minimize the DHT, but DHT itself is not a problem. I mean, it kind of is, but, you know, anyways, it's, let's hope something better gonna come out. If I show you my pictures of me 1 year ago prior to my transplant, and now it will blow your mind. Go on. Okay, you're gonna be the last person I'm gonna check the email. So go ahead and send it, and I'll have a look. Blow my mind, please, and all the other people that are watching this video. How many grafts for early Norwood 4 diffuse thinner? If it's diffuse thinner in Norwood 4, then fucking you can take 10,000 grafts, no problem. Again, it depends how many. Maybe you're someone that has very low density, maybe you're gonna have only 5,000 grafts. It depends. The thing I can get away with 3,500 follicular unions, decent donor. The thought of shaving, bleeding, cuts, irritation, shot of remaining hair, need to get the damn transplant. I mean, 3,500 grafts is really not that big of a transplant. Like maybe 20 years ago, 10 years ago, it was a big session. How they call it? Anyways, like a big session. Nowadays, it's a normal, you know, it's a normal standard transplant. 3,500 from average donor, no problem, if it's done correctly. And you can get them maybe another 1.5. I think 5,000 grafts in average donor, no problem. In average. If it's below average, that's another thing. 23 age should I get transplant while I'm not completely bald? You should, first of all, you should not take a transplant. No, the transplant is not there. I'm going back. Okay, you should change your mindset. It's a very wrong mindset to have about transplant. I'm gonna get transplant before I'm getting bald. No, you're gonna get bald even with a transplant. Transplant does not stop hair loss. If anything, it can even speed it up. So you have to stabilize with medication, and if it's stable and if it's good candidate, only then you take the transplant. Yeah, make the transplant. That's yeah, that's the wrong way to go about it. What's email? It's mr.roland. Okay, let me write down. All right. Do you think the AHI technique is better? No. You know what I think is better? A good hands, a good pair of hands, and a good brain, and of course a good eyesight. If you have a combination of good hands, a good brain, which means smart, and a good pair of hands, eyes that can see properly everything, pick a scalpel, pick a FE punch, pick a DHI implanter pen, your result gonna be great. If you give a DHI implanter in my hands, I'm pretty sure you're gonna have a pretty terrible hair transplant. Even though I'm a nerd, I kind of have an idea how to use it and how to do it. I don't have experience. I can guarantee you're gonna be having a very bad, you know, angles and everything. Give me a FE punch, same story. So yeah, never focus on technique, focus on who is doing the work. That's the most important thing. Can you please decide for me? No, I cannot decide for you. I'm sorry. You're a big man. put the pants on, decide for yourself. That's what you have to do in life. Yeah. This is like one of the worst thing that if you asking to decide for someone else for you, then if something gonna go wrong, you're gonna blame this person. You have to do everything yourself. Do your research, make your own decisions, informed decisions, and then like you're gonna be the most confident. Because if something goes wrong, oh, I knew I shouldn't be doing it. You know what I mean? Like, you need to decide for yourself on everything you do in life, especially transplants and medications. I'm still not getting the magic email, so I'm gonna give you 3 minutes to send me an email with the mind-blowing results. Can you please decide? Okay, that was do you think about the blood flow guy? Why would I think about the blood flow? The blood flow theory is one of the best theories. Freaking snake oil guys, I hate them. Like, they're praying for insecurities. We're gonna do another direct like this in the future. I would like to send you my case. Armando, yeah, probably. I mean, a lot of people are sending me emails on a daily basis. I'm trying my best to reply, but I'm not replying to everyone. Don't have the time. But yeah, I'm thinking maybe to do it once a week, maybe once in 2 weeks, maybe once a month. We'll see. But yeah, I think live streams are actually a good idea to kind of connect. Still, if you're taking precaution, will only slow down, and I will be getting bald later. Then I think that living everything will be fine. So lose hair and get transplant. Okay, so medications are there to not to 100% stop hair loss, but to dramatically slow it down. So you're still gonna be losing hair. For some people, it might stop hair loss for like 10 years, 20 years, but you're never gonna stop completely for life. But you're gonna slow down to the point that you're not gonna even like see much hair loss for decades. So yeah, it eventually depends on your family history. Look at your father, look at your uncles, and you're gonna be able to see where you're going. If your father is a full-blown Norwood 7, there is nothing else. There is most likely that's your future, whether you like it or not. Whether if you take medication and if you're gonna start early, chances are you're gonna do very well for many, many, many years. But if you don't do it and you wait until you're gonna get bolder and then you start medication like most of us do, and I did, that's why I'm Norwood 5, then you're gonna be, it's gonna be a losing battle basically. So yeah, take early intervention is key basically, and don't wait to lose more to get transplant. No, stabilize your hair loss and then reassess. So you don't have any more hair loss, you take the medication, been on finasteride at least for 1 year, and then go to a really good surgeon, hair transplant surgeon, and ask their opinion. Go to a second, go to a third one, send 20 to 50 emails across the world to the best of the best transplants. It doesn't mean you have to go to them. Consultations online are free of charge. Ask for their opinion. Don't go and send email to some cheap place that you think of going, for example. I'm not saying that you will, but because most of these places, they are just interested in your money, not not your well-being basically. So yeah, that's my advice. And I got the email. Is that the one? Okay, is that the mind-blowing? I don't know. I guess, okay, let's, I guess from the end, that's the pre-picture. Norwood 3. Okay, that's pre or post. With the hairs down, you cannot say anything. And here is combed. Okay, I'm not sure what to think of this picture. So that's I guess that's not a transplant, maybe that's medication, but that's literally a comb over here. So it's, I don't know. It improved definitely, but It's difficult to say. I cannot see. It's like you coming over to, like, you know, you hiding basically the areas that are weak. So especially here, these pictures, they don't say anything. I don't know if there is any other pictures. If there is a picture like that, like this picture, but right now, after medication or transplant or whatever, that's when we can see. Yeah, my mind is not blown, if that was you. Right. Okay, I think it's about time to wrap it up. It's been 2 hours, way too long. Longer than I was expecting to do a live stream. Anyways, guys, thanks so much for watching. Make sure to like the video. That helped me a lot. Not just this one, every single video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already for some reason, although I'm pretty sure everyone is watching already subscribed. And yeah, do me a solid, just you know, hit that like button every video. And if you got any questions, drop them in the comments down below on this video and any future video that I'm gonna be posting. I'm doing my best to answer to every single question, and I'm hoping to do one of those in the future again. All right, for now, see you next time. Peace out.